Hope you're having a great day. Today I want to talk about hormones. I talk about hormones a lot because hormones are your chemical messengers. Okay? When you have communication that breaks down in a relationship, what happens? It could be a relationship with your parents, with your kids, with your partners, with your colleagues, with your boss, any kind of relationship where communication breaks down. What happens? There's misunderstanding, so people behave the wrong way or they do the wrong things. There's conflict, there's aggression, there's chaos. That's what happens when communication breaks down. Your hormones are chemical messengers, constantly communicating. Let me give you an example of communication of hormones. When a woman is going through her period cycle, there is communication. Communication between hormones like estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. The same thing with men. There is constant communication happening. You have the endocrine system in the human body. You go to an endocrinologist when you have a problem with diabetes or thyroid, other conditions which involve hormones. The pituitary gland is something we've all heard of. What does it do? It's part of your endocrine system, and its main role is to secrete hormones into the blood. So everything, whether it's your thyroid, your reproductive glands, your adrenal glands that produce cortisol, the stress hormone, it is all controlled by the pituitary gland. So when we talk about getting to the root cause of the problem, we talk about getting to the actual root cause of the problem. So if you have a problem with hormonal health, like you have a thyroid problem, you have less thyroxine being produced or you have too much of it. You have diabetes. You have problems with insulin, too much or too little. Okay, you have a problem with estrogen, like in ER dominant issues like endometrial problems, ER positive breast cancers, fibroid cysts, anything which involves estrogen dominance, belly fat, a lot of abdominal fat that no matter how well you're eating, how well you're exercising, you still have a problem losing weight, hormonal problem again. So you have hormones that are being secreted. People, children, who some children have a problem with growth. Okay, it could be genetics. Sometimes they don't have enough of growth hormone being secreted. So what happens is growth hormones are also connected with your pituitary gland. So sometimes when your doctors do tests and they find you have a problem with your pituitary gland, sometimes you can have a benign tumor, sometimes you can have a malignant tumor, sometimes you have syndromes like a Cushing syndrome that involves your pituitary gland. All of that affects all the other hormone secretion. So when you look at a thyroid, you don't just look at a thyroid. When you look at diabetes, you just don't look at blood sugar levels. When you look at stress, you don't just look at meditation. You don't just look at ashwagandha. You look at the adrenal glands. And then you look to see your entire endocrine system. Where is the problem? And you come up to the pituitary gland. Today, what we're going to learn is how we can use lifestyle to maintain a healthy pituitary gland. Because I would want to maintain a healthy pituitary gland so it does its job of looking after everything else. The thyroid, my pancreas, my adrenal glands, everywhere where hormones are secreted, controlled by the pituitary gland. So it makes sense for us to address the root cause of the problem. Now the pituitary gland, to give you further examples, because today a lot of people want to pump themselves with growth hormones. They want to pump their kids with growth hormones because, hey, my kid's too short. I want my kid to grow taller. And sometimes growth hormone treatments are necessary, but today it's become a fad. Oh, you want more muscle? Let's pump you with growth hormones. Oh, your child needs more height, without even looking to see if their child's protein requirements are met, how active their children are. Are they sleep deprived? Because when you sleep well, and if children don't sleep well, they will not produce the right amount of growth hormones. But here you want to pump them with growth hormone injections when you haven't got the fundamentals right. So there is a place for growth hormone injections at the right time when you've got the fundamentals recovered. And then you have the new age young people who want to have great bodies, but they don't want to work hard. They want to work hard in the gym, but they want to drink, they want to smoke, they want to eat crap. So welcome growth hormone injections, and all of a sudden you're all pumped up, your muscles look good, your veins are popping and all of that stuff, but you got the fundamentals wrong. Those growth hormones after a while are not going to work for you anymore. In fact, they're going to cause more problems for you. So when you look at the pituitary gland, you have the anterior lobe and you have the posterior lobe. Just to give you an example, sometimes there is damage to only the anterior lobe or the posterior lobe. So if there's damage to the anterior lobe or the anterior lobe isn't functioning the right way, it is going to affect your growth hormone, it's going to affect your thyroid, it's going to affect your adrenal glands, it's going to affect all of the hormones required in a woman's period cycle, which also involves having a baby, fertility, conception. So you see, you go deeper and deeper when you're not having a baby. It's not just about jumping onto IVF. IVF is a great option for you if you've really tried everything else. Have you gone to look at how stress is impacting your pituitary gland? And because of that, you have a problem with all the other hormones and you can't conceive? We know hundreds and hundreds of couples who have conceived today only by reducing their stress levels. Yes, it's real. And stress impacts the pituitary gland. Anyway, moving back to the posterior lobe, you have something called vasopressin. Okay, today a lot of women and men suffer from water retention problems. Okay, that involves an antidiuretic hormone called vasopressin. So if you have a problem because your pituitary gland is not healthy, you can pop all the diuretics in the world, but you're only upsetting your hormonal balance of your vasopressin more and more. Vasopressin is a hormone that is designed to retain the right amount of water in your body. Now, every time you try to use a diuretic because you ate a late night meal or you ate a high carb meal with a lot of salt and you're retaining water, or someone told you that, hey, carbs retain water, so use a diuretic and you'll have a flatter stomach the next morning. Guess what? You're creating a bigger hormonal imbalance because you're messing up vasopressin. So you see, when you try to interfere with the intelligence of the human body, you have huge problems, and that's what most people are suffering from today. For short-term results, to look good for a while, they interfere with the intelligence of the body, you interfere with your hormones, you mess up communication, and now guess what? Your body starts doing the opposite. Hey, I did a fad diet. I deprived myself of food to lose weight, and I lost weight, but now I've put all that weight back on again. Why? Because your body's told you to put that weight back on. Hormones. You created a hormonal imbalance through your fad. And now you have a huge, huge problem. Posterior lobe affects oxytocin. What does oxytocin do? It's the love hormone. It's the cuddle hormone. It's the hormone that stimulates the release of breast milk. So very, very stressed out breastfeeding mothers will not lactate if they don't have the right amount of oxytocin. Because they're so stressed out, it's affecting their pituitary gland. At the same time, a lot of women who are not lactating will suddenly start to produce breast milk because you have a mix-up in the communication of your hormones, oxytocin. Now, what are some of the examples or some of the symptoms that you can look at to see if you have a problem with your pituitary gland? Number one, your prolactin levels. Your prolactin levels will be a fantastic indicator of how your pituitary gland is functioning. When you're very, very stressed out, your prolactin levels are going to be high. And when your prolactin levels are high, it is impossible for a woman to conceive a child, no matter what you do. And that is why I told you, we have hundreds and hundreds of women who have conceived only by relaxing, learning to reduce their stress because of the pituitary gland. So you want to check your prolactin levels. If you have constant headaches and migraines, again, you may want to talk to your doctor about your pituitary gland. You have high blood pressure, all of a sudden, you're not stressed, your heart's fine, everything's good, but your pressure goes up. Unexplained weight gain. You're working out, sleeping well, but you're putting on all of that weight. Unexplained weight gain, fat gain in the belly area, midriff area. You have trouble sleeping, pituitary gland again. You have sudden changes in your psychology, meaning you have mood swings. Everything's going well in your life, but you still feel sad, you feel like crying all the time, or you have these constant mood swings. Memory loss, reproductive issues, like I said, you're not able to have a baby, erectile dysfunction, dry vaginas, painful sex, irregular periods, excessive unusual hair growth, especially women. Today the concept is pop an oral contraceptive, take some bioidentical hormones, your problem never gets solved. It gets solved as long as you're on that and until it continues to work. Sometimes you got to go to the pituitary gland. So what do we do for the pituitary gland? Now that we've understood, it plays a huge role. And that's why I respect allopathy. I have medical doctors on my team. But you got to understand, it plays its role only with finding and treating a symptom. You still got to find the root cause of a problem. So while they may only look at your TSH and your T3 and your T4? No, I want to look at your pituitary gland. While they look at your blood sugar levels, fasting, post-fasting, I want to know what's happening in your pituitary gland. You have stress as a problem that's creating your diseases. Yes, we want to know what's happening in your pituitary glands and your adrenal glands. This is how important it is to understand the intelligence of the human body. Everything is interconnected with one another. So what are the simple lifestyle changes to maintain pituitary gland health? Number one, control your stress. Stress is real. Everyone has it. What are you doing about it? It's easy to blame and say, oh, everyone has stress. Stress is in the world, and go back and hide behind all of your vices and hide behind. I don't say this in a disrespectful way. People are doing it. They don't want to face stress head on. So they got to hide behind glasses of alcohol. They got to hide behind joints of marijuana and drugs and hard drugs and all of that stuff. Your problem is never getting fixed. Never getting fixed. I don't have a problem with your alcohol. I have a problem that you're using alcohol as a crutch. So you're failing to see the effort that you need to put in to address the root cause of your problem. So the more stress you have, the poorer the health of your pituitary gland. Sleep, number two, right up at the top. You're sleep deprived, you are going to have problems with your pituitary gland. You are going to have problems with your hormonal health and everything else. Now, when it comes to your diet, remember we keep talking about micronutrients. You're not going to find that on your fad diet that's told you to stop eating fruits and to stop eating XYZ vegetables and all of that stuff. While you may lose that weight, you're also losing a lot more. Okay? So yes, you have to have a balanced diet that has your plate looking like a rainbow. You can get those colors from fruits and vegetables and nuts and seeds and all of that stuff. Your job is to make sure that your plate looks like a rainbow. Okay, very, very important. You got to have the right sources of insoluble and soluble fiber. Not too much, not too little. Vitamins and minerals, where will they come from? Your food. But now if you have gut issues, absorption issues, obviously you're not absorbing the vitamins. So your doctor or your medical professional may put you on a multivitamin. You need it at that point because you're unable to absorb vitamins coming in from your system. So you need that extra boost of a vitamin into your system to feel better about yourself. Your good fats. Major role in the health of your pituitary gland. Anything to do with hormonal health requires the right quality and quantity of fats. So everyone's still stuck on a low-fat diet. I can guarantee you, you're gonna lose weight, put it back all on. You're gonna have poor skin, dull skin, falling hair, brittle nails, poor hormonal health, and all of that stuff. You need good fat, the right quantity and the quality. So for the pituitary gland, we are looking at monounsaturated fats and omega-3s. You can be vegetarian and get omega-3. You can be non-vegetarian and you can get omega-3. Doesn't matter. Your monounsaturated fats will come from your avocado oils, your olive oils that you add to your salads and vice versa. But you want to make sure that you're getting this in for the health of your pituitary gland. What else destroys it? All of your refined grains, your refined white flours, your refined sugar, and all of your inflammatory foods will decrease the health of your pituitary gland. And the last point, water. Your water intake. If you are dehydrated, no gland in your body can perform well. And as you can see now, your pituitary gland controls everything. Everything, all of your hormones, the endocrine system completely, the universe of the endocrine system is controlled by your pituitary gland. So you can take all the thyroxine in the world, all the insulin in the world, all the ashwagandha in the world. It is never going to help you unless you address your health at a holistic level, which is the main gland that controls everything else. And that's how simple it is. It's something that we talk about every single day. Sleep, stress, balanced diet, colors, micronutrients, and exercise to keep your blood circulation going good. Have a great day, everyone. Have a great week. Until next time, eat smart, move more, sleep right, breathe deep, and remember, you care is all about you.